Okay, guys, it's a really, really busy day. I'm taking a break. I'm currently negotiating 12 counter offers. I'm the listing agent for a homeowner who found me on YouTube. They hired me to sell their house. They did a consultation. They did everything I asked them to do. And we currently have 12 very good offers on the table that we are countering right now. So the question is, which offers do we go with? What are we looking at if we are a listing agent? How do you get your offer to stand out? And if you're a seller, how are you going to get your counter offer accepted? This is going to be a really, really important video. These are things that no one talks about. I'm going to be real careful with what I say here. Could be crossing the line here. But anyway, it's going to be a good video. Let's get into it. Time is the most valuable thing that we have out there in the universe because it is the only thing we cannot purchase, truly, okay? So if you're taking the time to watch this video, you need to listen to this recommendation, and it is the most important part of this whole video, and that is hire the best realtor you can find, whether you're buying or selling a property. It's that important. And for those of you who have been watching my videos, you know I have a referral program. There's no obligation. It's no cost to you. There's a link down in the description box that you can fill out, and we'll refer you some agents. But minimum, interview 3 agents before you're satisfied that you're being well represented. Because these 12 offers I just told you about, I would say 1/3 of them are not even being considered because the way their agent wrote the offer and how they presented the offer. Big pitfall. If you hire a crappy agent, you're going to get crummy results. We get trouble for saying that. So let's talk about a few pitfalls that some of these buyer's agents made on some of the offers we're negotiating right now. Now, the first thing you have to know as a buyer is that if you are submitting an offer and you have a buyer's agent that doesn't have a lot of transactions or have bad reviews or bad experience, the first thing we do when we receive an offer, besides looking at the price, is we look at who is actually making the offer, which agent, which company. We do research. We want to know if we're working with someone that knows what they're doing. So if you are considering hiring a buyer's agent, make sure you look them up online because your listing agent is going to do the same thing. So if it's a tie, if you're in a multiple counter situation and you have an experienced agent over an inexperienced agent, who do you think the seller is going to go with? And let me tell you, that seller is looking at that agent as well. Now, we don't discriminate in real estate. The only thing we can discriminate against is financial strength, okay? That's the only thing. So if we pick one offer over the other, it's based on financial strength. But if there's a tie, you want to make sure that you're working with a buyer's agent that is working diligently on your behalf and knows how to sell your offer. Another pitfall that I see buyer's agents making is that they don't advocate for their buyer. We had 12 offers and only 5 of those agents actually contact me to pitch their client's behalf. They wanted to let me know how interested they were, meaning their buyers were in the property. They wanted to convince me of their financial strength. So they'd have their lender or their investment guru call me to ensure that, these people are very, very financially strong. They're providing proof of funds, not only for the earnest money deposit, but for the down deposit or for the overall purchase price. These buyer's agents are busting their butt trying to sell their offer. Now, there was another 7 of those offers. They submitted an offer. They never even confirmed if I received it, and I never heard from them. This is not good. These are the things that you don't know if you're working with a buyer's agent, if the buyer's agent is actually advocating for you. How do you know that? Because you need to ask those questions when you interview them. I have a gal named Sarika who's on my team who's helping me with this transaction. And she was blown away too with the lack of professionalism and the way that the offers were actually presented, meaning the offers themselves. There were people that submitted an offer that was outdated, meaning the form itself was outdated. It was revised in 2021. Some of the documents didn't even have the proper dates or even the client's names written on them. There are a bunch of other forms that are to be, we'll just say, combined with the purchase offer that some of these agents didn't even incorporate into their offer. So if you are not working with a very, very sophisticated buyer's agent that knows how to present the offer to you, you're not going to get your offer accepted. So make sure you choose them wisely. What you don't also realize is how the buyer's agent interfaces with the listing agent is really important too. So when we have any type of showing request, we do private showings. And if we can't do private showings, we still make sure that we are screening every visitor into the house. So we will ask that buyer's agent, can you tell me a little bit about your buyer? And a couple of them were like, no, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to let you on the property unless I know your buyer can purchase. So can you tell me a little bit more? They're all cash. That's it. So I'm telling you, you don't want a buyer's agent that communicates with the listing agent that way, okay? Especially when you're in a hot market. Realize right now, if you have 12 offers on a property, this is not the time to be a jerk. So if you're working with the jerky agent, just realize that you are obviously going to perhaps not win the hearts of the listing agent, and that listing agent may or may not communicate their dislike to you, to the seller. You don't know. Now, these are all things we're not supposed to do as agents, meaning take the emotional side into it. But, there's what you should do, and then there's reality. So you don't want to hire a jerky agent either. No jerky agents. They need to be polite, sophisticated, competent, and get the job done. I want to be respectful when I make this comment. And that is when you're hiring a buyer's agent or even a listing agent, you need to make sure they're quick, like ricochet rabbit quick, right? So if they need to write an offer, it shouldn't take them 20 hours to write an offer, okay? This should be an agent that has done lots of transactions and can respond very quickly. You have to understand, emotions are running very high during this offer process. And if you can't get an offer to the other side in a very timely manner, it's going to be an indication of how the rest of the process is going to go. So there's a lot of things that these listing agents are looking at when they're dealing with your buyer's agent. So make sure you're working with someone that can DocuSign, someone that understands the form and can be very quick in responding for you, because if they can't, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage. Now, the top 5 buyers in this multiple counter situation all had buyer's agents that asked this question. It's a brilliant question, and that is, Audra, can you give me some guidance on how to make my offer stand out? What is the seller looking for? Do they need a rent back? Are they looking for a shorter time contingency period? Are they selling the house as is? Like, what's the most important thing to them? Is it price? Like, can you help me out? So when that buyer's agent submitted an offer for their buyer, they came in very strong initially. And remember, the first impression is always an important one. So if you are a buyer, there are 4 things you're going to do to try to get your offer accepted. The most important being that you are going to hire the best agent you can find out there. It's super important. It really is. I hope I demonstrated that. The second thing is you are going to find a lender that can execute quickly, meaning that they can get loan approval, full loan approval within, I'd say, 10 to 12 days. Now, the standard, the way the contract is written in California, is it's 17 days. That is a lifetime. There is no reason why a lender can't get you completely underwritten and approved within 10 to 12 days. Now, that's pushing it, which means that when you are getting pre-qualified for your loan, you are going to find a lender that's going to underwrite you early. So when you make that offer, you can say, hey, I know I'm up against a lot of cash offers, but I can close very quickly. So if you don't have or are not working with a lender that's providing it, you need to find one that does. You also want to have your proof of funds attached to the offer. So have those handy. That proof of funds should cover the earnest money deposit and any down payment you make. And if you are making a cash offer, you want to include that in the offer. You want to impress this seller. You buyers out there, you love to write the seller these love letters. You love to tell them about your family, your dog Fido, and your kids and your background. And you want them to take your offer because they just love you so much. And you feel like you're doing something to get your offer accepted. Now, I'm not going to lie. I really love those little love letters. But in the state of California and other states as well, in the listing agreement, the seller has to designate whether or not they want to receive these love letters or not. Because a lot of these sellers in the past have received these love letters from the buyers. They accept an offer based off emotion and then regret it. So we make that decision up front. It's actually in the listing agreement. So if you are a buyer and you're writing, these love letters, I would first ask if the seller is willing to receive it, right? Because you're going to waste all this time. So what's even more powerful, just so you know, what's more powerful than a love letter is getting your finances in order. So make sure you're working with the lender. It's super important that can respond very quickly, that can move those contingencies up, that can close quickly. Way more romantic than a love letter. Although I do miss those love letters. They're really cute. Especially when they have the picture of the dog and the kids. I love those. Now, if you're a buyer and you're caught in a multiple counter situation where you're bidding on a property with multiple other buyers, you may want to put in your offer an escalation clause. What an escalation clause does is it helps you stay in the game because you can never guess exactly where you're going to be. So let's say you make an offer of $1 million. You'll tell the seller, hey, I'm going to offer you $1 million or $5,000 over the highest verifiable offer. Now, of course, I'm just using $5,000 as an example. You can use any dollar amount you want, but you also put a limit to it. So you say $1 million is my offer. I'll give you $5,000 over the highest verifiable offer, not to exceed $1,025,000, something like that. So if the seller receives this, and let's say there's an offer that comes in at $1,500,000, then guess what? They have to show you that offer, verify. Usually it's the first page that here's a verifiable offer. You give us $5,000 more and you have the offer. It's a beautiful thing. Now, a lot of listing agents don't like dealing with this escalation clause because they think it gets a little too messy. I understand where they're coming from, but I don't know. I say, let's do it. Like if you're doing a buyer, it shows that you're game and you want to participate and you're able to go up a little bit. So I wouldn't even ask the listing agent if they're willing to accept escalation clauses. Just do it. I mean, it shows that you're game and you want it, right? That's what I would do. I always do that, actually. If you really want a property and you know you have the finances, it's always a good idea to waive that appraisal, okay? So what that means is it doesn't mean you don't get appraisal. It just means that you're not going to back out if the appraisal doesn't come in at value. Now, if you need that appraisal to come in at value, then of course you don't want to mark that box. But if you know in all your heart that you have the finances to do it and you love the home, and you think there may be an appraisal issue, this might look really, really positive to the seller if you waive that appraisal contingency. And if you're very strong financially but don't want to waive that appraisal, you can always put a stipulation in there with something like this. You can say, buyer to pay $25,000 or whatever the dollar amount is above the lowest appraised value, not to exceed the offer price. Now, let's say the appraised value is lower than $25,000, then maybe the seller comes in and helps you, but it does help you a little bit with that appraisal variance. If you're making an offer, you want your offer to come across very clean. So you need to know what's customary, who pays for what, who pays for title, who pays for escrow, who's paying the transfer taxes. Typically, that's the burden of the seller. A few of the offers that came in this multiple counter situation that I'm working on right now, the buyers came in and was requesting the seller to pay for things that were standard, the buyer's fees. Okay, that does not impress the seller. They get offended. So be very careful and understand what is traditional fees. So when you write that offer, you're not angering the seller up front. Don't get sneaky. Just provide a solid offer that's customary is the guidance I can give you. All right, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. Help me out, please. I need it. So up until this point, I've been primarily focused on the buyers, but let's talk about the sellers, because most of the time the sellers do have to counter. And how in the world are they going to get their counter accepted? So I have this special formula. I'm super good at this. And it has absolutely changed the way that I do business. So I highly encourage that if you're selling a house that you follow suit. So my secret sauce for my sellers and getting all of their offers or counter offers accepted is we do all the work up front. So before we even put their house on the market, of course, if you go to my properties, they're all staged and they're all beautiful and we tracked a lot of people. In fact, the offer that I'm currently negotiating, we had over 200 people through our open house because it was prepared beautifully. We use those photos, we use those videos. In fact, if you're in my area, you're crazy not to work with me. No one does this to the level that I do, in my opinion. I haven't seen anybody yet. But I do offer a home inspection to my sellers. I comp it, okay? Meaning I pay for a home inspection and I also pay for a termite inspection. We get those report back and we look at all the things that are in that report. If there's electrical issues, we take care of it. If there's any active leaks, we take care of it. If there's systems that are not working properly, we repair them or we service them. So when we are countering our offer with our buyers, we write in the stipulation in the counteroffer that we are doing no buyer credits and we're not going to do any repairs. So we encourage them to make the offer with the condition of the property in mind. I love this so much. This has been able to shorten those contingencies. The inspectors that I use are of very high quality. Like most of the buyers who come in and look at the report, I use Elite Home Services, by the way. They're so blown away with the report that they honestly probably couldn't hire a better inspection or a more thorough inspection. So they don't usually have to pay for their own inspection, but of course they're welcome to. But we're not trying to pull the wool over any buyer's head or anything. We're trying to be as transparent as possible. It sets the mood, it sets emotions. It's non-emotional throughout the entire process because everything is disclosed up front. Now, when we receive an offer from a buyer and we counter them, not only are we countering the home inspection and all the repairs we made and the termite inspection, we're also providing all of those seller disclosures up front. All of them. And let me tell you, folks, there's a lot of them. So when we get a signed counter offer back, we've already limited most of the headaches in the transaction. So if you're a seller, oh my gosh, please do this. Now, I've been doing, this real estate bit for a long time, and I just started instituting this process this year. And I don't know why we don't all do this. Like this should be one of those things that should be a standard practice in every state. The buyers need to have transparency. It makes the negotiations run a lot smoother. It's brilliant. Like just get your home inspection and your disclosures. And if you're a seller, you really need to find a very, very hardworking, educated professional representing you. And I'm not trying to give myself a bunch of kudos, but we had a lot of really good offers out there. And at one point during this multiple offer situation, the sellers were like, we just want to take this one offer. And I think most agents would have been really tempted to do it, especially ones that aren't experienced, because the offer was really strong. And I said, no, we set a plan. We were going to list the property on a Monday. We're going to do the open houses, and then we're going to review the offers on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll make a decision either Wednesday or Thursday. And they were kind of nervous about it. And I'm like, just trust me on this, right? Like, come on, like, let me work harder for you. You're paying me top dollar. Let me get you top price. So thankfully we did that. And the only reason why I'm telling you that is because don't be tempted to take that first offer that comes in if you're getting a lot of traction and you are getting a lot of, we'll say, interest on the property. Like you need to hire an agent that can guide you properly. Now, there are times where I get a good offer. I'm like, let's respond very quickly. But a seasoned agent will be able to have we'll say an instinct, and they have experience to be able to guide you properly. I think you're getting the theme here. Hire a super great agent that's going to negotiate for you, because there's a lot of things as a buyer and a seller you don't see that goes on with your realtor, how they're communicating to the other side, what they're doing behind the scenes. They might look like they're doing a lot of work, but you really don't know. But if you interview at least 3 agents, you're going to know within 3 agents, in my opinion, which one's going to stand out, who's going to work hard, who's going to be shamefully persistent, and go and get that deal signed for you. For you first-time home buyers out there, let me tell you, who you select is really important. In fact, in this multiple counter situation that I'm working on right now, I had one of these buyers reach out to me and say, Audra, my agent doesn't work in this area. Would you mind representing me in the transaction? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll write an offer for you. Let's see what you got. So I go through their stuff and I look at their pre-qualification letter. I call the lender. What a dingbat lender. Like, they were not aggressive. They didn't really answer my questions well. When I asked them the question, I'm like, let me guess, you're not getting any of your offers accepted. They're like, no. I'm like, all right, well, I'll write an offer up for you. But I'm telling you what, if you're going to stick with this lender, you are not going to get your offer accepted because you're up against all cash offers. I'm happy to put you in contact with some lenders I've worked with in the past. I can get this done much quicker. And I said, but also, have you ever even looked at an offer? Like, not really. I'm like, well, let's spend the time. Let's go through that offer in detail. So if you are a first-time home buyer, very competitive, you need to find a good lender, but you also need to know what you're signing. And you need to find an agent that's going to sit down and spend those hours with you explaining every detail of the contract and what you're getting yourself into and what to expect. Now, for those of you who are watching me for the first time, my name is Audra Lambert. I'm one of the top selling realtors in Orange County, California. And of course, I'm for hire. But I have done several videos on how to prepare your house for sale. And for you buyers out there, there's some helpful videos that I will link down below in the description box. If you got any value out of this video, please smash the like button, thumbs up, and let's see here, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.